Okay, let's see what happens here. All right, went to the full page. That's good. Okay, take a look at this number here. Since these guys are the same, all you have to do now is just basically add your exponents. So it's going to be 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2. Means you add the numerators, you keep the denominators the same. It's going to be 5 to the 6 over 2 power, which simplifies as 5 to the third power. And 5 to the third power is what? 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. So that should be your final answer for number 1. Okay, so now let's go to page 2. All right, so again, it's the same kind of thing here. You worked it out. You got 2/4, 3/4, all right. So if we take this thing here, then you can say this is the 4th root of -4 to the third power. Okay. And what is -4 to the third power? Well, let's see. -4 times -4 will give me a positive 16 times a -4 would give me a -64. So then my final answer would be the 4th root of a -64. And that's the way you're going to have to leave it, because you can't break anything out of here. But it's going to be the 4th root of a -64. Let's see. So here we go to problem number 3. So what happens when you have these guys, a power outside of parentheses with something with a power, then basically you have 3 to the 2/3 power times 3 over 2. Okay, so what you wind up doing is multiplying these powers, and as you can see, you can cancel these guys out, cancel those out, and so you're left with 3 to the 1st, or just 3. Okay, next problem, 4. Okay, so why simplify when you can simplicate? What you did is, okay, you multiply 25 times 36 to get 900 and take the square root to get 30. But there's another way. For example, 1/2 you know to be the square root. So I could take the square root of 25 times the square root of 36. That gives me 5 times 6, which equals 30. Same answer you had here, but you don't have to use a calculator. All right, this one here, when you have a power over a power like that, all you do is subtract. So what you have here is 2 to the 1/5 minus 6/5. Okay, so 1 minus 6 is 5. So you have 2 to the -5 over 5. That equals 2 to the -1. But -1 means you go below the denominator, so it's just going to be 1/2. That's going to be your final answer. Okay. Problem number 6. Okay, you have the 4th root. So basically you can break it apart. A lot of times breaking it apart helps. You have the 4th root of 81 over the 4th root of 16. A lot of times, if you can break it apart and then reduce it before you, multiply by the powers, that's probably better. Okay, so 81 is 9 times 9, or it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And the square root of, or the 4th root of 16 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Once again, you can see there's 4 2's in here, there's 4 3's in here. Final answer is going to be 3 over 2. Make sense? I hope so. Number 7. What you can do here is you can combine. So if you make this one big square root of 8 times 2, you're going to get the square root of 16, which equals 4. It looks so easy when I do it, doesn't it? Number 8. Okay, same thing over here. You had the right idea. You just continue it. So you have 3, right? And then 9 is 3 times 3. And so since you're taking a cube root of something, the final answer will just be 3. Number 9. Okay, you got the right answer by doing all of this. But again, why complicate when you can simplicate? So let's take a look at the square root of 50 over the square root of 2. Okay, I can combine that as the square root of 50 over 2, which simplifies as the square root of 25, which we all know to be 5. Same answer, okay? But why complicate when you can simplicate? Number 10. Okay, once again, since you're multiplying the bottoms down here, I think they're called the radicands, you can just add the exponents. So let's just do that. You have x to the 1/5 plus 2/5. Okay, so that'll give you x to the 3/5. Now if you have to put it into another form, then you can write it as the 5th root of x to the 3rd power. And that'll be your answer. Number 11. Okay, so once again, when you have parentheses and you have 2 powers, then you multiply the powers. So you're going to have x to the 3/4 times 5. Well, it's 5 over 1. Let's make that simpler like that. And then we're going to get x to the 15 over 4. Okay, that's probably a text from either you or your mom. So we can simplify that as the 4th root of x to the 15th, right? But if we break it up, x to the 4th times x to the 4th, that's x to the 8th, times x to the 4th, that's x to the 12th, times x to the 3rd, which would make it 15. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So we have all of that. So that means we can take out 3 of these puppies. So on the outside, we're going to have x cubed, but on the inside, we're still going to have the cube root, or the 4th root of x cubed. And so that's going to be your answer there. Colors are optional. Number 12. Okay, 25x to the 1/2. Again, let's just break it apart. You have the square root of 25, right? And the square root of x. Well, the square root of 25 is 5. Can't do anything there, so we just leave it as the square root of x. Powers over powers, so you subtract. So this works out to be x to the 7 over 5 minus 2 over 5. So 7 minus 2 is 5, so this gives us x to the 5 over 5, which we know is x to the 1st. So the answer is just x. Number 14. You have x to the negative 5 over 2. So the negative means that you flip it over. So really what you're looking at is 1 over x to the 5 over 2. Okay? So what does that mean? It means you have 1 over the square root of x to the 5th power. X to the 5th power is x squared times x squared times x to the 1st, right? That's x to the 5th. So we can simplify that by taking these guys out. So what you wind up is 1 over x squared, square root of x. Now, the problem with this is you're not supposed to have junk below, so we multiply top and bottom by the square root of x. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have the square root of x over x to the third. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And finally, number 15. Again, let's break it apart. So you have the cube root of 27, the cube root of x, and the cube root of y to the third. Well, 27 is just 3 cubed, right? That's cube root of 3 cubed. Okay, and then you have the cube root of x, and of course, that's just going to be y. So this cancels out. So you wind up with 3y, the cube root of x. And that should do it. Hopefully that covers it.